Hello, my name is Fred Mullen, Cumberland County Master Gardener, and we're out here at the Plateau Research Center. And what we're here to show you today is a little tomato demonstration that we've actually set up. The way this all began, our county agent, Greg Upchurch, decided we needed to do something a little bit more about production of tomatoes. So what we decided to do, I taught a tomato class the first part of May, and we asked for volunteers in that class to actually learn hands-on growing tomatoes in different aspects of it. Some of the things we've demonstrated for our students, we've demonstrated a few commercial things that commercial growers do that can actually be integrated into home gardening. So we took a class, we've took these people and they are hands-on. We started with preparing the soil, with soil tests, what the soil test results are, how to amend the soil when you get a soil test back, planting the tomatoes, staking the tomatoes, spraying the tomatoes, insecticides, fungicides, the whole thing. So what we've done here is we've got 5 different rows of tomatoes. In these 5 rows, we've got 15 different varieties. We've got tomato tomatoes, we got table tomatoes, we got yellow tomatoes, but just a different variety of tomatoes. We got determinate tomatoes, we got indeterminate tomatoes. And what we've done is we've put one plant of each variety into each row. Each row we are growing in a different method. Well, first thing we've done is we've laid down irrigation. Now this is a simple drip irrigation system that can be very inexpensively integrated into a home garden. You can water your tomatoes, or this can be a very simple kit that you can buy that you can put your own irrigation system into your own garden. Another thing we've incorporated into this to teach our students is our staking system. What we got here is we stake the tomatoes. Instead of staking each tomato and tying up each tomato separately along a stake to keep it up off the ground, which you need to, what we've done here is we've incorporated, it's called a floor to weave. And basically what you do is you put your stakes intermittently down the row and you weave the string to your tomatoes, and that's holding your tomatoes up. You can take, there's 75 plants here in these 5 rows. One person in about 10 or 15 minutes can run a string through this whole system and tie up all the tomato plants in one pass, and it's a lot simpler, it's a lot more economical than doing it, and it's time saving is amazing. Okay. Now what we've done with each row is we've grown 5 different ways. The first row you see here behind me is black plastic. This was all put down, and then we planted through the black plastic. Our next row, bare ground. We have no mulch, just bare ground. Our third row here is a mulch, which we put down. The 4th row is an organic row. It's completely organic. We're using organic fertilizers, organic insect controls, and organic fungicide controls. With a fertilization, we're using composted manure. We're using blood meal and bone meal for our fertilizer on our organic row. And our last row over there is with landscape fabric, which is still black, but it's porous so the rain goes through it, okay? Now another thing we did, as far as the organic end of it, if you'll notice this ground here, the weed cover, and then notice this weed cover. This section of the garden was treated with a pre-emergent. It has not been tilled, it's not been hoed. It's been 6 weeks since we planted the tomatoes, and you can see basically how many weeds we got. We have not pulled weeds. Here with the organic row, on both sides of the organic row, we did not put down pre-emergent, and you can see how the grass is taking over. It looks like it's about ready to be mowed, but we have not done it in 6 weeks. This has not been tilled, worked, hoed, or anything. Okay, so what we're hoping to do here is take the individuals that participated and just show them some different ways that you can incorporate growing tomatoes in your garden And again, I say this is 75 tomato plants, which in a home garden, 75 tomato plants would be a whole lot of work. When you're doing it this way, you have the irrigation down with the string system tying up, and then your spray regimen with the pre-emergent down. This is very labor cost savings. It's very light labor as far as keeping these tomatoes up. This is the way a lot of commercial growers do it, but you can integrate that into your home garden very inexpensively. What we're hoping to do with this is show people not only the different mulches they can use and compare the growth of the bare earth, the black plastic, the mulch, but this can all be incorporated into their home garden at home and do that. Now, this went lost. The course that we actually set up for the participants, we met 4 Saturdays every 2 weeks. The first Saturday we met with the group, we talked about soil prep, we talked about getting a soil sample, how to read the soil sample when it came back from the lab, what it meant to you. They come out here hands-on, they planted the tomatoes, they staked the tomatoes, they tied up the tomatoes, and that was all in the first week. The second week, we went over pruning tomatoes, suckering tomatoes, and again tying up, and also introduced spraying fungicides. The third session, we went over insect control and fungicides, and we included fungicides for the organic garden. A copper-based fungicide is organic, and that's what we're using on the organic row. The fourth class is on fertilization. They are again going to be coming out and tying up the tomatoes, pruning the tomatoes, suckering the tomatoes, but they're also going to learn about fertilization. So we just want you to come out and look at our demonstration, and we're going to do some taste tests later when we get ripe tomatoes, as far as organically grown tomatoes and commercially grown tomatoes, to see if there's a difference in the taste, if you can tell the difference. If you can see the difference in the way the plants are growing, which plants are darker green, which plants are bigger, which plants suffer because they have no mulch or because of the mulch they do have. So invite everybody to come out. We're going to be here at the Fall Gardeners Festival, August 26th, 25th this year, and we'll have a demonstration here. You can come out and actually help. We can taste some tomatoes and see which ones you prefer. And thank you very much for attending. Thank you.